Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Governor. One of the things that we try to do here every day is respond to the questions that you have. I can tell you that the three of us and our entire team feel so responsible to you that when we're going through this difficult time, that we want to make sure that everything that we can do on our end to ease the burden in your lives is a top priority for us. Every day I have work with our folks at the Unemployment Compensation System at ODJFS, Director Kim Hall and her team, who are working diligently to try to respond to your needs. You know that today it was released, the unemployment claims nationwide. Give you a little window into what we're talking about here in Ohio and what it means to our system. The week ending March the 21st, we had 187,780 claims. To put this in perspective, in all of 2019, we had 369,594. So as you can see, the burden on the system, the number of people that filed is an amazing number. If you look at that period in February, we had 112,000 calls to the call center. In the period that I just described through March 21, we had 1.7 million calls to our call center. And as far as the website, they're adding servers and building capacity to make sure that we are serving you. We know that not everybody is getting served at the pace that the demand requires. But you should know that they are working through that and that the team is trying to build that capacity. An important thing to know, that if you do not get through and you're worried about the timing of your benefits and not getting paid the full amount that you qualify for, they will make that retroactive. So just because you don't get through today or if there was a delay, know that they will make the benefit retroactive to the time that you qualified for it. So we wanted to ease your minds at least to know that while you may not be able to get through this, through the system in the time frame that you're trying to do, that your benefits will not be affected by it. It's like a rush hour on the highway. The highway system is built for a certain capacity, and when we exceed that capacity, the system can't handle it. It's happening at two ends. It's happening at the state end, where the data is being received, but it's also happening sometimes in your home, in your neighborhood. That maybe in your own home, you might have normally nobody on the internet during the day, and you have 4 of people on there, and that's happening in all the homes in your neighborhood. And certain places in the state, the capacity is just not there, and that can create a frustration. But I want you to know that we're working with the internet service providers, and we're working with our team to try to expand that funnel as best as we can. But be reassured that your benefits will be put in place retroactively. We also know that there have been a lot of questions about people who are self-employed, contract workers, 1099 employees. The bill that's moving through the federal government right now, through the Congress, would qualify those individuals for benefits. Their team is already preparing for guidance from the Department of Labor to administer those resources as soon as they become available to us. Just a couple of really important points there that I wanted to emphasize. A daily question, daily issue that I've been trying to address. The governor and I get lots of calls about this. We talk with our local government officials, our health departments, the state health department, which is of course led by Dr. Acton, about the stay-at-home order and the essential business list. It's important that you read the order and the plain language that's in that order at coronavirus.ohio.gov, and it's under the tab, Director's Stay-at-Home Order. Use your good judgment in following that order. Please know businesses do not need a letter or certification or anything like that to operate, but we do encourage that you prepare a document that serves as a rationale should a health official or someone in law enforcement show up and ask you to provide a validation for your operations. The mayors and the health departments have asked us to help you understand one thing. Do not call them for an interpretation of the rule. The time to call your local health department is when you see a violation of the rule and you're seeking enforcement. That's the time to call them. And definitely, as the mayor's requested of us today, don't call 911. This is not the place that you would refer these kinds of issues. Remember, if you're a business and you're a violator, you will get reported, either by an employee, a neighbor, a competitor. Somebody will call you out on this. So just follow the rules. We're asking it, particularly item 18 in the rules, which essentially requires you to create a safe workplace. The checklist is all there. Please follow that. And I will remind you of this, that even when we start to come out of this, we're going to need to continue those safe workplace regulations. So even if you're not a business in operation right now, you should go look at that list, because you're going to need to do those things to keep your workplace safe so that we don't have a reoccurrence of the spread when we start to come out of this. And as is always said, we are in this together, and the virus only spreads when we spread it. So that's why these orders exist, and that's what you can help us accomplish. Additionally, I just got off the phone before we came in here with Secretary of State Frank LaRose. The bill that will be signed tomorrow by Governor DeWine will establish a April 28th vote by mail date. It's important for you to know that you can already begin the process of requesting that absentee ballot. Go to voteohio.gov and you can print off that request. Also, you can find more information at that website on the entire election process. If you do not have the ability to print or acquire an absentee ballot request, you can call your local Board of Elections and request one, and they will send you one in the mail. So Frank LaRose, our Secretary of State, wanted me to remind you of all of that, because we want everybody who wants to cast a ballot to have the opportunity to do that. Your local boards and Secretary of State's office are trying to account for that as quickly as they can. I was also contacted several times, and Governor and I hear this. We hear the mix, and we're trying to get the balance right on this. And we talked about the need for businesses to operate with the proper health requirements, and urging everybody, again, if you can work from home, if you cannot come in contact with anybody, then that's the way you should operate, even if you're an essential business. But there are some people who are out there in the workplace that can't do that, and they are real heroes. The people who stock your grocery stores and are part of that food supply chain, they have to show up, and we're grateful for them showing up. We're grateful for the delivery personnel that are delivering things to our homes during this time. Remember, there are all people with families out there who are putting themselves in a position where they're trying to do their duty to all of us as citizens and provide those essential services. You know, I think about the tech companies and the telecom. I mean, all of those folks, we're all on the internet and we're getting this stuff digitally. That takes a backbone. We have utility and other personnel that are out there doing these things during this difficult time, and we're grateful for their service. And certainly, last but certainly not least, first responders, nurses, doctors. I hear from a lot of them, and one doctor that I interacted with asked me if I would share this message. He said that it's very scary for the people who are working in our hospital systems, that there is a disease, a virus of which is very deadly. And these nurses and hospital workers and doctors are putting their lives and their families' lives at risk by merely doing their jobs. And they said, you know, every one of them, we're willing to do this. We're willing to put ourselves in this position to try to help Ohioans live, thrive, and stay healthy. But they all have one thing that they're asking of all of us. Just stay home if you can. Practice social distancing. Don't create the spread that's going to put these workers in jeopardy any longer than we need to. We will get through this, but we'll get through it faster and healthier if we all cooperate and act responsibly. So thanks for all of those workers that are out there doing those wonderful things. They're the backbone of our economy, they're the backbone of our healthcare system, and we're grateful.